Welcome to From Chaos to Peace with Conny. My name is Conny Graf and I am your host. I'm here to explore with you, often solo and sometimes with a guest, how a few minutes a day can keep the chaos away. And with chaos, I'm talking about the physical, digital, social, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual clutter that can accumulate in our life and business. In every episode, I want to make you aware how clutter is so much more than you think and why I say that clearing your clutter is self-love. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 168. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, you're probably excited like me that the dark months are finally over and that it's spring. The astronomical spring begins today, Monday, March 20th, 2023 at 5:24 p.m. Eastern Time or 2:24 p.m. Pacific Time, where I am. So to me, that is also the official start of the new year. As I've said in several podcast episodes already, for example, in episode 106 back at the beginning of 2022 and in episode 157 at the beginning of 2023, in the deep winter on January 1st, all I want is to hibernate. And as you know, if you listen to my podcast for any length of time, I live by the moon and the stars, and the sun moving into Aries, the first sign of the astrological zodiac sign, marks the beginning of a new cycle. And so it makes sense that I feel motivated and energized now and that a new year is starting. And maybe you feel similar. And with spring being here, and yes, sorry for all my friends and listeners in the Southern Hemisphere. I know for you it's not spring, but most of my listeners are here in the Northern Hemisphere, so for us it's spring. So with spring being here, we will also see lots and lots of articles and reports on TV about spring cleaning. But even without those, you might intrinsically feel like cleaning out all the winter dust and dirt and make it airy, light and fresh, just like we feel nature is doing outside. So when preparing for this episode, I Googled real quick the history of spring cleaning, and I learned that in Persian culture, for example, spring cleaning dates back 3,000 years, and that it was believed that sweeping up dust and removing clutter from one's house would prevent ill fortune in the upcoming year. So I thought that was really interesting because to me that also implies that back then they were also considering spring being the beginning of the year, because they're saying that clearing clutter and cleaning dust will prevent ill fortune for the upcoming year. So if we do this in spring, then the year starts in spring. Okay, so if you listen to this episode when it comes out on March 20th, 2023, then you actually missed the perfect time for spring cleaning for this new year, and you're better off to wait until April 5th. Why would I say that? Well, as I said before, I live by the moon cycles, and you might have heard of gardening by the moon. And just the way that actually works and gives us better results in gardening without pesticides and less fertilizer, for example. There are more areas in our life that if we go back to alignment with the moon cycles, we get better results. And cleaning our house, especially spring cleaning our house, is one of those areas. So again, if you listen to this episode when it's coming out on March 20th, 2023, well then today or tomorrow, depending on where you live, is new moon followed by 2 weeks of waxing moon. Meaning the moon grows bigger until he's actually a full moon on April 5th. And any cleaning is better to be done during the time the moon is waning. So when it moves from full moon to new moon. Therefore, you want to wait for the next 2 weeks of waning moon, which starts on April 5th. Now, of course, it could be that you listen to this episode at any time in the future. So if you listen to this after April 5th and you missed that 2-week window of waning moon as well, you can just pick any 2 weeks of waning moon to be favorable for your cleaning or spring cleaning and spring cleaning or fall cleaning or summer cleaning or whatever cleaning you're doing. And if you don't know if the moon is waxing or waning, you can easily check that out online. For example, by going to the website mooncalendar.astro-seek.com. I will put the link in the show notes. It's the website I usually use to check out like in what zodiac sign and also whether it's waning or waxing. But there's also moon calendars, and of course I have one, but you don't necessarily need to spend money and get a moon calendar. You can literally just go to that website and figure it out for free. But if you do go out and buy a moon calendar or a moon diary, then make sure that moon calendar is really for the location you are living. So for the time zone and the continent you are living, because that actually matters. Okay, so now the advantages to do any cleaning and decluttering, actually for that matter too, in alignment with the moon cycle is that it will be easier. It will go easier, go faster. You will need less effort. And the results are also longer lasting. So if you are into making life easier for you, which is always my aim to make my life easier, and it's actually my aim to make your life easier, then pay attention to this and pay attention to the moon cycles. So in general, spring cleaning and clutter clearing again is best done when the moon is waning because it will be easier to do. And the dirt loosens easier, so it comes off easier and you need less effort. I said that all already, right? And the result is longer lasting. So let me give you some examples. With windows. Your windows will stay cleaner longer and free of streaks if you do it when the moon is waning. Treating mold in your bathroom will be more successful and you don't need toxic cleaners, but vinegar water will be sufficient. Another example is washing your delicate clothes during the waning moon gets you better results. And also, very important now in spring, if you put your winter clothes away into storage for the summer, then doing this during the waning moon is very important so that they don't suffer and they don't take on strange smells. And you also don't need mothballs at all if you do it at the right time. So those are a few examples. That could go on with many more. But the most important thing I'd like you to take away is to do spring cleaning during the waning moon if you want it to be easier and you want better results. And if you think this is all hogwash, that the moon has an effect on our household chores and our cleaning, then the only way for you to experience that it really works is by trying it out yourself. And an easy way to test this is, for example, with Windows. And I'm not talking about the Windows on your computer, so not MS Windows, Microsoft Windows, but your actual Windows in your house, just to make that clear. So a bad time to clean windows is at full moon or when the moon is waxing. So when the moon is moving from new moon to full moon, that is waxing, it grows bigger. Often when you clean the windows at that time, they just don't get really clean, or you need a lot of effort to get them clean, or maybe a harsh cleaner. And also oftentimes, no matter what you do, there will always stay streaks and streak marks in the window. Try it out. Do it at the wrong time. And then a good time for cleaning windows is when the moon is waning, as I actually already mentioned several times. And technically, there are also more favorable times when the moon is waning. For example, when it's in Gemini, Cancer, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But honestly, unless I have a problem window, which I do have one, but it's even past that the moon can help with that window, I really don't pay attention to the more specific favorable times. I just make sure that the moon is waning. Again, if you want to test whether that really makes a difference when you clean your windows, so go ahead and clean a window while the moon is waxing. So when it's not a good time to clean the window, you could do that, for example, between March 21st and April 4th, 2023, if you listen to this right when the episode comes out. And then you could pay a little bit of attention how much effort you need, whether you get it clean or not, whether it leaves streaks or not. Just pay attention, maybe make some notes. And then clean another window, or maybe even the same window when it's a favorable time. So after April 5th, the 2 weeks after April 5th, when the moon is waning, and then see how it is different, whether it goes easier, whether it takes less time to get the window clean, whether there is no streaks left over, etc. So this is just if you wanted to test it and see whether Conny tells you some hogwash here on the podcast or not. But I can tell you from my own experience, I learned about living by the cycles of the moon over 25 years ago when I read the very first book by Johanna Paunker and Thomas Pappe. Those are Austrian authors, and I think, if I remember right, they're the best-selling authors in the section of nonfiction books in Europe. But just reading about it really doesn't convince most people, no, as we're all raised and brought up by thinking this is hogwash or just esoteric BS. But we can actually pay attention and doing little experiments, like I just said, the one above with the windows. Try it out and see whether it works. I can tell you from 25 years of experience of trying it out and working with it, it actually does work. Now, with clutter clearing, I say too that the best time is when the moon is waning, just because also while you clutter clear, you often also clean. And again, because I said the effects and the results are longer lasting. But you may not notice the effects as easily between the right time of doing it and the wrong time of doing it as you do with cleaning. And honestly, I don't tell my clients to not declutter when the moon is waxing. Often it's really, really more important that they finally start at all with their journey from chaos to peace and no longer procrastinate. But with some more advanced clients that are further along in the clutter clearing journey, we might pay more attention to the moon since the results are longer lasting, like I said, and it helps with the clutter not creeping back in. But again, if you're just starting your journey and if it's more about that you actually start decluttering, today is the best day to start decluttering, right? So don't procrastinate any longer. But I want to say one last thing about spring cleaning. Often people think that they need to reserve a whole day or a weekend or a week to spring clean their house. But just like with clearing clutter, I say a few minutes a day is the better approach. Who has the motivation and energy to clean house for a whole day? I do remember my grandmother did that back then in the days when she was still with us. But that's really not my thing. I mean, if for you that works, good for you. You go ahead and do that for you. And for the rest of us who don't really want and feel like cleaning for a full day, we can take these 2 weeks of waning moon per month and do the spring cleaning then by spending a few minutes a day doing it. Just like with a few minutes a day keeps the chaos away, we can actually do a few minutes a day keeps the dirt away. So my routine of a few minutes a day starts on Monday in the bedroom. Then I move on to the bathroom on Tuesday, the kitchen on Wednesday, the dining room and living room on Thursday, and at the end, all remaining rooms for Friday and Saturday. And that's how I do it. That's how I do it for years already. And that's usually also how I structure a clutter clearing challenge for my clients or in my Facebook community. If you're interested in this process, in my process with decluttering and cleaning, then go to the show notes and download the PDF that I prepared for you. But you can take my structure or come up with your own. It doesn't matter. As long as you keep up a consistent daily cleaning and clutter clearing routine throughout the year, your spring cleaning will be easy to do, and the benefit is your house is reasonably clean year-round and not just for the week after your big spring clean. But one more thing I want to say about spring cleaning and cleaning in general. If you still have a lot of clutter in your home, cleaning and spring cleaning will not be easy, and it will also not bring you the results you could have and you want to have. Just like you can't organize clutter, you also really can't keep clutter clean. So the best approach is to actually clear your clutter before you attempt to do a spring cleaning, and then also declutter during your spring cleaning. And if you want to make a fresh start this spring cleaning will work so much better if you declutter too. And as you know, I also say as within, so without, the saying by Hermes. So if you declutter and spring clean your outside surroundings, that will have a positive effect on you and your thoughts and emotions. So it's well worth it all the way around. And if you would like help with clearing clutter and starting your journey from chaos to peace, please reach out and schedule a free consultation with me, and we can see if working together would be a good fit. Okay, my friend, that was it for this week. I wish you a happy new year. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Have a beautiful and amazing week. Talk to you next time. Take good care and be safe. If you enjoyed this podcast episode and you want to go on a journey from chaos to peace in your home, office, and finances with me as your guide, opportunities to work with me one-on-one are available. Go to connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com to schedule your own personal Clutter to Clarity chat. And we will see if working together is a great fit. That is connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com.